This confidence booster question is going to help to build the exam technique skills that you need to pass the AAA exam. This is one of the resources that's included in my paid course that I'm making available for free here for you on YouTube so that you can see the style of my support and you can get some free help too. My course really works. I'm incredibly proud of my pass rate from the June 22 exam sitting. 81% versus the global pass rate of 31%. And the reason it's so high, well, mainly it's because my students work really hard, but I give them loads of support and guidance to give them the best possible chance of passing the exam. Lots of videos giving you technique advice and lots of marking from me so I can give you tailored feedback on how to improve your answers. If you want to get in touch with me to talk about joining one of my courses, scan the QR code that is showing on screen now. Right, into this confidence booster recording. Welcome to this confidence booster question on audit risk and procedures. And in this confidence booster, we're going to be taking a simplified scenario and using it to demonstrate technique in how to approach an audit risk and procedures question so that you are better prepared to do a full exam question. Right, here's our scenario for this confidence booster. We're given some background information about a company. It's a simplified scenario. And we're given some financial extracts as well about revenue and operating profit. And we're told that materiality is 6 million. And our task here is going to be to evaluate the audit risk around goodwill. And we're told that there's goodwill here of 25 million. So let's go through the scenario and pick out a few key facts. Firstly, this is a listed business, and I'm going to perhaps use that information to add a bit of depth to my evaluation. That's a really pertinent fact that they're listed, so that might give an incentive for them to overstate the value of goodwill to meet shareholder expectations. I'm told there have been difficulties integrating this business that they've bought. Again, that's going to be that's saying to me there's surely going to be a goodwill impairment if there's been difficulties integrating. And if I just look at this financial extract down here, I can see the numbers of the business look like they've got worse. And management haven't assessed the goodwill for impairment. Any time that you're told management haven't done something, that's a big red flag in the AAA exam. So let's evaluate this audit risk then. Now, in a good audit risk evaluation, I always start by thinking about materiality. How material is this item? So the goodwill is 25 million, that's from here, and it's highly material because it's more than 4 times materiality. So that's a good audit risk always starts with materiality. And I'm setting out the correct accounting treatment here. We should assess it for impairment in the year of acquisition, particularly if indicators of impairment exist. I'm starting off by saying what should happen. Then I'm going on and using facts in the scenario to explain why there should have been an impairment. So I've used these numbers down here. The 18.1% fall in revenue is the difference between 18 and 22, and operating profit has halved. And I'm showing that I'm evaluating these facts, earning analysis and evaluation professional skills marks by saying these are significant falls over a short period, and they show that the goodwill on acquisition may require impairment. Let's seal the deal then with a final comment. So a goodwill impairment review should have been performed. And I'm showing my judgment here and professional skepticism by saying management might have avoided performing the review to artificially boost the results of GARDA to meet shareholder expectations as GARDA is listed. I'm using that listed fact. And always in an audit risk question, I go on and say precisely which accounts might be impacted. So intangible assets may be overstated and impairment expenses are understated. Fantastic. Right, now let's use the same scenario, but we're going to talk about audit procedures now. And the requirement is asking us to come up with 3 audit procedures for this goodwill on acquisition. Now, a good audit procedure always starts with a fact from the scenario. And having taken that fact, it then suggests a source document to verify the fact and has a bit of an explanation about how the audit test works. So let's pick out 3 juicy facts that we can verify. Right, first juicy fact is this, that we acquired 100% of the equity share capital. So I'm going to need to think of a source that will allow me to verify that, ideally a third-party source. Next thing I'm told that's a juicy fact is they paid cash of 135 million to acquire this equity share capital. So I need a document for that. And I'm told that the net assets on acquisition were 110 million. So again, I need a source document for those. Right, let's write these points up then. My first one, well, actually, I've started with the cash one. I don't know why I did that, but anyway, I have. The 135 million cash, I can agree that to the bank statements. That's third-party evidence. And let's explain how the test works. This will confirm the accuracy of the figure and the date of acquisition. Wonderful. That's a full mark for if you write in that level of detail. And the share capital, I'm going to get the legal contract, the sale and purchase agreement, and ensure that the share register reflects Garda as the 100% owner. Lovely. And what about this one? The net assets on acquisition. This requires a bit of knowledge. Whenever a company buys another business, there will be a due diligence report. They will have an assurance provider that will review. This is part of the transaction. The due diligence provider will go through the acquired company's accounts and verify the value of their assets. So we'll get a report on that, the due diligence report. So the net assets on acquisition, I can verify that they were 110 million by agreeing to the due diligence report. 3 short, punchy points with a fact, a source document, and a bit of an explanation. Follow that approach and you will nail the audit procedures questions. I hope you found that recording useful and it's helping you to build the exam technique skills you need to pass AAA. Here are some more free resources that you might find useful. And if you want to get in touch with me, scan that QR code. So firstly, my podcast. I take real-world events and discuss them from an auditing perspective to really bring the subject to life. Those are available for free on all of the major podcast platforms. Just search for ACCA Ben Wilson. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be releasing a lot more of this type of video and other videos too that will help you to pass. So subscribe so that you don't miss out. I'm very active on LinkedIn. I post things like quizzes that get quite a lot of comment and debate about auditing issues. So you'll find those useful if you subscribe to me. I also post exam technique tips on there too. And finally, have a look at my website. It will give you a real idea of all of the support that I provide.